And you mentioned you went into like the gambling anonymous kind of stuff. So why was it hard for you to maybe find help out outside of that? Because like you mentioned again, you said that your fear of failure. A lot of times I struggle with that too, in a sense that with the fear of failure is that sometimes we feel like only we could fix this and it's our responsibility to fix it. And that's sometimes why we don't reach out to others for help when we know that if we reach out, people are going to help us. We just don't want to reach out because we then almost look at ourselves as a bigger failure because now I'm almost putting this burden on you because you got to help figure out my situation. So you even feel worse. Did you have like the same feelings?
You are so interesting. I'm listening to you talk, and it's really about where I was, and I hear you so well. I've said to my wife now that I know I could have gone to my relatives, my granddaddy. My granddaddy owned no 500 acres of land. I could have gone to my aunts or anybody and saying, look, I'm head over heels in debt. I just need, 50, $75,000, and I can just take care of everything, and I'll eventually get it back to you. I just honestly believe if they knew that about me, they would have let me have it. But my thoughts were, and when you said what you're saying is exactly where what my thought was. They were looking up to me. I was this lawyer in the family, the only one, only a lawyer in the family. They thought I had it all together. And so to go to them for anything in my mind was not only letting myself down, but I was letting them down too. And I didn't want to do that. Okay.
Mhm.
So when you said that, it really kind of made me laugh because it really was where I was, So I definitely know exactly what you say, and that's kind of was my feeling. I could not go to my family members and just ask them to do this for me. It just they didn't my thought was they're gonna be saying, why are you do you're the lawyer, you shouldn't be have to go through this. And, they are farmers and what have you. It's just something that I felt like I could not do. Now, I've thought about it over and over. And I even said it to my wife now. I said, it was kind of crazy. It was stupid. It was silly because I know I could have gone to them and, they would have done whatever they could to help me, But rather, I did something crazy and I hurt them worse than actually if I had gone to them and said, this is what my situation is. But that's just the way things are.
Yeah, especially being like a man and that pride and that ego. Sometimes you really need life to kick you in the ass to finally be like, okay, I can't just be doing this because is that an ego in us, especially guys. We have that biggest struggle with that ego because we're the man. I'm supposed to be the man. But
That's
sometimes
right.
you are the man and you could ask for help. You're still the man if you ask.
Mm-hmm.
And like with your case, you went to prison. You went to jail, and that really gave you that swift kick in the ass where it's like, okay, I gotta let this ego portion of me die because I'm not as high horse as I thought I was. And if
That's
I
right.
keep doing this every year, it seems like my life is getting lower, 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 and now, bang, you're in prison. You don't even have freedom. Now you're making a license plate for a living that says live free or whatever, and you're starting to get a license plate and it says live free, and you're like, I'm cooped up in here. And that really messes you with you even more. So now, if you don't mind touching up on James, like your whole prison experience, like I know a lot of people, I've talked to a handful of my patients that have been in prison, and after prison, they refound God, or they then finally kind of calmed down, and they took like a different look at life and different perspective, and they became a better person. Of course, they regret doing what they've done, and I wish they would have learned how to get to this place without prison, but sometimes that's just how life is. You just have to go through this, I guess, negative and saddening and hardening experience to kind of come out. Because some of us, we're stubborn and it takes us a harder kick in the ass to really learn that lesson versus somebody else, that might just go through something real small that, okay, then they learn a lesson. Sometimes we just go through life in our own way. So